Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. I'm so happy that you could all join us, and I'm just having the best day ever. Earlier today, we had a fantastic panel discussion about human design, and Christy, who's here with us on a call, was one of our presenters on that. And I feel like we went way over time, on that call, like way over time. And we could have talked so much more and so much longer. It was such a rich and lovely discussion that I feel like we're going to have to do it again. And I have a couple of other friends who might be really, really good additions to that human design conversation. So I invite you, if human design is something that you're interested in, go watch the replay. It's already over there on our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. But I have somebody wonderful to introduce to you today. I always have somebody wonderful to introduce to you. Candi is a dear friend. She's coming to us all the way from Germany today. And when I think branding, when I think about anything to do with branding, my first thought is gotta call Candi because she is an expert in that regard. And today she's going to be not just talking to us about our branding, but she's going to be giving away something for FREE, guys. So the fact that you've joined us up here means that you're interested in branding for your business. And so you're going to be definitely interested in what Candi has to give away. So, Candi, I'm going to bring you up on speaker view. I'm going to invite all of us to just go ahead and mute ourselves. And Candi, would you go ahead and share with us a little bit about who you are and what you are doing in the world?
Thank you. I hope I'm coming in loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Absolutely love you. I love the platform and the community that is being cultivated in LPL. So it's just such an honor to be on with everybody today. I was listening in earlier for the earlier session, and it was just so powerful. So Christy, thank you. I see you. So for those who don't know me, my name is Candi Sterling. I am a personal brand strategist, and the name of my company is On Her Mission. And what I do is I help women experts, basically who are the face of their brand, to really become more known and to create more demand for what they do and what they offer. And I absolutely love to do that. It's such a passion of mine. I've been in the consulting and communication space for over 12 years. And so I absolutely enjoy the journey and sharing all that I know and learn with everyone that I come across and meet. And one of the key things that I found that was critical on my journey was the ability to really just create whatever reality you want to build through the brand that you set for yourself, through the goals that you set for yourself. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit more about today. And I'm just super thrilled to dive in.
Awesome. I want to say welcome to the wonderful women who've joined us over here in Facebook land. So, hi, Lynn. Lynn was also one of our presenters earlier on Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Break. And also, Doreen is over here watching with us over on Facebook. And let me just say, hi to you guys and say that Doreen is going to be one of our presenters on our upcoming Ladies Power Lunch Fall Conference, as is Candi. And so really, really happy that you could join us, Doreen. Crystal just joined us over there on Facebook as well. We have quite a few people who've joined us there. And of course, to those of you who are here with us on the Zoom call, Jamie, Janice, Christy, Lori, Lorraine, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. So, Candi, what are the things that you see people out there doing with branding that when you look at it, it kind of makes you maybe cringe a little bit? What are some of those don'ts that you would say about branding?
So my number one biggest don't and the biggest problem that I see is this lack of clarity and lack of just a consistent vision for who they are, what they offer, and how they help others. And so for me, I'm very vision based and very vision oriented. And my process, I like to work backwards and walk backwards from that highest grand vision that you have for yourself, that you have for your business. And so when you're working in alignment with that grand vision, things tend to make sense. But if that vision isn't clear, or if it's not, if it's fuzzy, that's when things tend to get a little bit confusing. And so everything falls out of place, from your aesthetics to your communications to the experience that you provide. So for me, that's really where it really is so key, is that grand vision and knowing it internally, so that externally it's just amplified and really clear and visible.
And if you had to say to people one thing to do when you are looking at your brand strategy, when you are, if they take nothing else away, what's like that one piece that you find that somehow seems to be missing with a lot of people, in addition to the idea of being clear about what it is that they're saying, what they're communicating?
I would say you can automate a lot of things in your business, but you can't automate yourself. So how you personally show up is the critical key piece for personal branding. Because if somebody's just meeting you on the street, they may not have had the chance to look at your, your website or your headshot or all of those beautiful and very essential things that we need. But what they will remember is you, the energy that you bring, and how you make them feel. So I believe 100% personal branding, it's about you, the person, how you make other people feel. Number one, first and foremost, people buy you. And there's so many different places to get, products and services. But at the end of the day, we choose who we work with. And that is so critical. That's the number one piece, and yes, business cards matter, websites matter, everything, all of that matters, but you matter more. And I really believe that.
Getting a lot of hearts over here for that particular statement, over here on Facebook. Lots of love surrounding that idea. But you say, personal branding. I mean, when I think about branding, I'm not sure, am I thinking about it the right way? What is branding versus marketing versus sales? Like, what are the fine points on this?
So it is a fuzzy area. And one of the things I do break down when I work with people is all of the different experts that specialize in different things in the marketing and branding space. So if you're talking about sales, that's a different conversation. You're talking about, how do you take, and and Liz Detterer, I just have to shout her out because she's amazing at sales conversation. It's a lot to do with relationships and just making sure you're fulfilling a need. If you're talking about marketing, you're talking about that higher level strategy that comes into play when you're looking at, okay, I have something and I want to bring it to market. I want to bring it to my audience. And there's so many different ways to do that, from social media to the product development side. When you're talking about branding, you're talking about the impression, and you're talking about the overall reputation that a product, service, or person has. And so personal branding is that personal representation. When people think of you, that reputation that you have, what pops into mind? And it encompasses your business. Your business is part of that. Your network is part of that. The things that you align yourself with is part of that. The things you volunteer for are all part of your personal brand. And then your business brand, which is the brand that is associated with the company or businesses that you are leading. And so there are a lot of overlap, but some critical nuance as well. I hope that clarifies a little bit for you. So, and that would be, you have Richard Branson, and then you have Virgin, of Oprah herself, and then you have all of the different legs that stem from her and her core values and what she chooses to align herself with. And so that's just an example. So if you think of some of these brands with a slightly smaller audience, think about, the product, but then also think about them as the person, why you want to work with them. And then you'll start to see the nuances between your business brand and your personal brand. And there's no right or wrong way. It's not about right or wrong. It's just about making sure that how you're thinking of it is in alignment with the goal that you want to achieve and to set. So
I understand. I think I get it. I think I have that distinction between what we're talking about with a personal brand as opposed to marketing. It's there's a subtle difference, but it's a very important distinction to make. Um, you are going to be doing a workshop on next week, Wednesday at 12 o'clock, and it's going to be a personal branding workshop. Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek into what it is that you're going to be presenting on that?
I am so excited to give a sneak peek. And when we first talked about this, and I have to give a big virtual hug to Gina Raposa, who gave such an amazing pre-note last week. And so we're going to build on what Gina, the foundation that she laid in terms of working in your zone of genius. And I absolutely love that. And we're going to be talking about confidence, and we're going to be talking about tools for confidence and tools for showing up as your best self. So if you're planning to be on that pre-note, go in, and I invite you to look and dig into your closet and into your home. And we're going to be talking about 3 core things. We're going to be talking about fun stuff. We're going to be talking about an article of clothing, which you're going to find. We're going to be talking about a cosmetic item or a skincare item, either or. And we're going to be talking about an accessory. And when you're looking for 3 of these things, think about picking one in each category that makes you feel something. And whatever that something is, it has to be aligned with making you feel more confident. And we're going to talk about how we can use some of these items that we have to amplify our confidence and to amplify how we show up and how we make other people feel based upon the experience that we're providing them. And so I'm super excited to dive into that a little bit more of how to step with confidence.
How to step with confidence. And when you have people who come to work with you in your brand, in your company on her mission, when they come to you, what are they looking for? What is the thing that you provide for them?
So the number one thing that I find with branding in particular is that it's very confusing, and there's so many different points of entry. So what I provide is a system and a series of steps that no matter where you are, you can figure out, where we figure out together the next step that you need to take in order to move you forward towards your goal. And it's not just figuring out what you need to do, but how to break down to do it in a way that keeps you energized and in a way that works for you, because it can be very overwhelming when you're like, you go to a branding workshop, I've been to so many, or a marketing workshop, and then you leave and you're like, okay, I'm going to do Facebook ads, and then I'm going to get a headshot, and then I'm going to build a website, and then, oh my God, my bio needs to be updated. Oh gosh, what's LinkedIn looking like? And then all of these different thoughts set in, and you're like, oh, where do I begin? And it can be really overwhelming. And you're like, I think I need a vision board. So we kind of like take it all in, but I just have a process for it that makes it a lot more streamlined and just more exciting and just less stressful.
Awesome. I like streamlined. I am a big fan of, being organized, taking things step by step, because I find that when I'm oriented that way, and well, coming from a medical background where you have checklists and you check and you double check to make sure that you're not making mistakes, I feel like if you're doing that same process with your business, the business side of things, it's going to be an absolute win. So I love that you're systemized in your approach, even though we're talking about things that are, a little bit more fun. We're still being organized about it. So that's fantastic. I am going to invite you to tell us a little bit about what you're going to give away. But before we do that, I just want to open up here to our women who are on the call to see if you ladies have any questions for Candi. Guys, you have the expert. She's here. What do you want to know? Anybody have any questions at all about branding and how you can improve your personal brand? Lorraine.
Hi. Hi, Candi. My focus is, my business name is Fabulous Begins at 50. So like I said, my focus is working with women to show them how they can live a vibrant life and live a healthy lifestyle. So I set up a Facebook page, which is where I'm doing more of my business branding and products and things like that, leaving my personal page to be more personal and more fun, motivation, fun things. So where should I be concentrating most of my business branding?
In terms of your business branding, I would say that you want to look at, so you're doing the right thing, I want to say, by having a focus on yourself. That's saying if your business brand is, or your brand and what you're about and your core values is how to showcase being fabulous, fabulous at 50, after 50, whatever that is, live that, walk that walk, absolutely 100%. And that's going to just show naturally in everything that you post on your personal page. On your business page, you're going to want to make sure that you are always in alignment with all of those core values that are stemming from you. So you're going to want to take time to post about, the why of, why it's important. You're going to want to probably talk about some of the problem areas that you've overcome on your business page, because you're going to want those to link back to your products and services, but it's going to come from a place of authenticity because you yourself have been there and you are that guide for you are the guide. So you're going to be amplifying that through your business page, but you're going to be linking it back. And there's certain different ratios for business marketing. They always say you want to make sure that it's not sales, 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 but you want to make sure you're telling stories through storytelling that's business oriented. So maybe it's somebody you've helped, or maybe it was another thought leader that you follow in your space that you're sharing with your audience and community. So the number one thing I would say is always be of value on your business page. Always be educating, always be of value, and always make sure it's in alignment with who you are and what you stand for, and you cannot go wrong.
Thank you, Candi.
Awesome. I have a question for you over here on our Facebook group. Doreen is asking, in the simplest terms, where should a person concentrate?
In terms of personal
branding, yep.
In the simplest terms, you concentrate on your daily actions and experience, and in making sure that, because here's the thing with personal branding, you can't share something that's not real. So the one thing you want to do is you want to be taking the actions that your future self would be taking and sharing that story. So I'll give a specific example. Last summer, I challenged myself. I competed in an international Ms. pageant. And so I was faced with that challenge of how do I build a brand around this title that's in alignment? And the number one thing that I had to do was do the work. And I had to, in order to create that brand, it was all about showing up in the right places, doing the right actions, and having the right conversations, and sharing it was easy. So from that experiential piece, the number one thing you want to make sure is you're living your truth of who your future self is and what she's doing first and foremost, because then sharing and the talking about it, all of the other things will fall into place really simply. And so I hope that's helpful. It's really about getting in action and then aligning your aesthetics and aligning your communications to just reflect what you are actually doing out in the world. And so if you're, depending on where you are in your business, if you're not quite sure, you're like, okay, well, find an organization that's you can volunteer with, or that's aligned with what you stand for and where you want to be, or start an interview series and start to showcase, or a podcast, but just get in action, whatever that looks like for you, in a way that says who you are and what you're doing and how you help people.
Outstanding. And Doreen says, love, thank you. So I feel like your answer was able to hit home for her. Christy, were you indicating earlier, did you have a question?
Yeah, and I actually wanted to piggyback off of what Lorraine asked, which is in the opposite direction. So instead of having a business page, I find I don't want to be managing both. And I know the rule of not posting too much sales, but I feel like if I'm the brand, then my Facebook page or profile needs to kind of represent my business as well. I do have like group pages, but in terms of like merging the two, and obviously it's like less of a line now that we have between work and personal life, especially if you're a female, I think, solopreneur. What would you say might be some pitfalls or on the other hand, advice that you think we need to be aware of to just make sure that it's seamless and that we're not finding ourselves sort of in a sticky situation, or like regretting that we didn't just have 2 pages?
So I guess the number one pitfall to avoid is to suddenly just start selling on your page, obviously, or just posting things. So what you want to do is, for both, I believe, is to really, you want to take the conversation, you want to, depending on what your business model is you really want to make sure that you are helping you want to make sure that you are always being, what's the word I'm looking for? You always want to make sure that no matter what it is, you're just in alignment, and you're serving them, and you're showcasing your knowledge and expertise on both. And hold on, I'm just going to hit the button because I don't want to die on you guys. All right, and I'm back. My laptop is going to die. So you want to make sure that if you're merging, that's okay, but on your business page, focus in on content that is really, really digging deep into your industry. And it doesn't have to necessarily come from you. It could be just showcasing that you have a command in the space, and that could be really powerful. For your personal page, you want to make sure that, again, it's experiential. And I will share a secret with you guys. Most of the opportunities that I have attracted and most of the things that keep me mostly busy does not come from business pages stuff. It comes from people connecting with me personally. And so that's where I put the majority and the lion's share of my effort, because of that reason, because it works for my business model and it works for me. So I hope that's helpful, but I think strategically, and as a personal brand strategist, it's always about looking at where you want to go and mapping out the steps and making a plan for it. So I would say to sit down and really create a strategic plan that's content-based, that makes sense, that's not overwhelming, because content doesn't have to be overwhelming and it doesn't have to all be yours. It just has to really be in alignment and attributing, obviously, to the people that it's coming from, but it has to be in alignment with what you're there to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I don't have a business page, or I'm trying not to opt for that. I have like a group that I share things with, but well, again, this is more social media. Groups are different than a business page. They treat it differently, but I'm trying, like I said, to keep it just into one, so that I'm not separating like industry information from my personal.
And I just want to say too, it's really more about your audience and what is best for them, first and foremost. So if that's something that's working for them and that's what's being, like, they're receptive to in that way, then that is awesome. And it's going to look different for everybody. So it's kind of figuring out that sweet spot. It's industry based. There's so many nuances to that. But I would say, as long as your audience is feeling it, you are good.
Awesome. I see Janice indicating. Janice, did you have a question?
Yes, I did, and I believe our time is almost up, so I'll be really, really, really quick. And Christy has, she stumbled on something that I wanted to ask about too, because I'm in the middle of creating a new business for myself, and I'm merging some of the companies that I'm working with. So I'm going to have my own LLC, which I'm in the process of doing.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, I was excited about that. So the question that I'm at right now is the difference between, and what you think would be the importance of having a website as opposed to a Facebook page. And I'm in the insurance business, and I work with New York Life Insurance, and I'm also an independent agent with other companies providing supplemental health policies. So there's some restrictions of what I can advertise on my personal page. So therefore, I don't want total strangers looking on my personal page, and I don't want total strangers calling me, even though I want sales, so I have to limit that. So I do want to have a separate Facebook page, but I didn't know whether or not that was something that you would suggest, having a website in addition to a Facebook business page. So if you can kind of let me know the differences and whether or not I should just put the effort in something that's for free, because I know you can do your own website for free, but there's a lot more involved in building a website and all that. So I just wanted to get your opinions about that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always going to advocate for having your own website, 110%. You own the content, and it's yours, it's your home. And the purpose of social media, it's part of a funnel system, and that's a whole different conversation. But social media, it's about it, it's sort of a way to engage. It's a way to build community. But what you really want to do is, at the end of the day, you want to take people home. And virtually, that home is your website, and you want to have that. And also for just discovery purposes, very powerful tool for SEO, as is LinkedIn. And so when you start to get into it, and it's such a credibility factor as well, there's so many different reasons. They're just coming out of me for why I believe a website is so powerful. And also in terms of your email, and just, whether it's email marketing or whether it's just, an email that you are, emailing people back and forth, when you have your own website, having a custom domain. So Janice at, JaniceMitchellSmith.com, I'm just making that up, that just sends this air of, oh, she means business. And so I think 100%, you're always going to want to build that home, and then you can take people to it. And then you have the flexibility of what you can share. You can create pages that are just private for certain eyes only. There's just so much you can do. So I would say 100%. And I invite you to reach out to me if you need any more guidance in that area.
Candi, you have done a fantastic job of whetting our appetite for more on this branding topic. It's really, really great. I am inviting you all to, why don't you come on Wednesday? It's going to be a full hour. It's going to be workshop style. We're going to really have an opportunity to dive a little bit more deeply into this topic of branding. It's going to be at 12 o'clock to 1 Eastern Standard Time. And Candi is going to come with her A game, as she always does, and she is going to really show us hands-on how to brand like a boss. Candi, what are you giving us for free today? Let's hear it.
I am super excited. I'm giving away a Mission Unstoppable session. So it is a power strategy success session, say that 10 times fast. And it also comes with the On Her Mission Success Strategy Map, which is part of it's a sneak peek into the Unveil Your Brand Power, which is our branding intensive. So I'm super excited because it's a high value session. It's super fun. And so I'm really happy to give that away.
Wow, I feel like I should put my name on the list. We have 9 participants today. We have Doreen, we have Crystal, we have Lynn, we have Fonsavan, we have Jamie, Janice, Christy, Lori, and Lorraine joining us today. I invite you to, Candi, please, will you pick a number from 1 to 9? Just pick a number, any number, a favorite number, the lucky number 7. Lori, you are our winner today. Yay! Oh my gosh. I feel like there are no accidents, none whatsoever. This was intended. So Lori, what are you thinking? Does this sound like something that your brand is going to benefit from?
Oh, absolutely. And Davia knows kind of where I am. I'm in the process of kind of re-looking at my business and my focus. And I actually have a really cool photo shoot that I'm doing this weekend to kind of bring in some of this new energy. And yeah, so.
I know Lori really, really well. Lori is like my heart, and she's in the process of doing this. So there is nobody, I'm sorry guys, but unless it was Jamie there, and Jamie won last week, I think. So unless it was Jamie, there is nobody else on this call who is more deserving than Lori. Truly, truly, truly. And I know we're all working on our business. We're all doing the things, and we're all winners because we have access to Candi, and we have an opportunity to have her for 1 full hour for FREE, next week, Wednesday. So I invite you. I'm telling you it's existing, and I'm asking you, would you like to join us next week, Wednesday, for our pre-note power hour? And really, what we're doing with these pre-note events, they're completely free. You can attend, you can invite a friend, whatever you want to do. What we're doing is we're giving you a free taste of the sort of workshop experience that we're bringing for the Ladies Power Lunch Fall Conference, which is happening on September 21st. So join us for Candy's event on Wednesday. Definitely, if you haven't gotten your ticket for the Ladies Power Lunch Fall Conference, the tickets are up. They're on Eventbrite. The link is on our Facebook group and our Facebook page because, yes, we do have both of those things. Also on our website because we have that too. And just come on out and let's get together and let's get to branding like a boss. Thank you, Candy, for joining us. Christy, Lori, Lorraine, Jamie, Janice, Mina, I see you over there. Fona Savan, Doreen, Crystal, Lynn, all of you who joined us today. I am so beyond grateful and blessed to have you as part of our community. Together, we all rise, and we're going to make this world so much more of a better place just by working together on this. Thanks for joining, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.